Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 36 of Post and Pints. As always, my name is Matt. Joined with me as always is Dre, Kyle, and Alec. But for the first time in podcast history, yes, that's right, 36 episodes, and we have a returning guest. Friend of the pod, capo of the Sons of Ben, Adam Booth, welcome back.
I am an FOP. I like that. Hi. Good to be back, gentlemen. It's actually funny because now I've moved since the last time we potted, so I have a completely different background going now. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. Happy to talk some footy with the lads.
Man, and you absolutely, from me, who's a listener of you, your pod is absolutely killing it. So even if you are a supporter of the Philadelphia Union or not, Sons have been the pod. It's an absolutely great time. Adam, dive into a little bit for people who don't know.
So, I mean, look, it's me and my boy, Matt Gnazik. He is the president of the Sons of Ben, the standing president of the Sons of Ben. Me and him, and our boy, Devin Garcia, who one of the best producers in the land. We all just started a podcast literally at the beginning of the year because we always knew we had discussions with the Sons of Ben and we always were talking to our supporters, but it was kind of hard to get like a centralized voice in a place where we could just be like, okay, here's where things are being discussed. And if you were curious about what's going on with our day-to-day, like the front office stuff, like what are we doing with our tailgates or anything, we just wanted to give them a centralized like location for it. So we started the podcast and it was great. We had a couple guests on. We had Red Bull legend Sebastian Letou on. We had Katie Fellinger from CBS3. We had just a bunch of people before COVID struck. Then COVID hit, and basically and it was famously right before the Union started our season opener, so our home opener at least, and it was like very depressing. But we were like, we kept it going all this time, and it kind of evolved, if you will, into just Philly soccer chat. We brought in a lot of guests. We've had Jim Curtin, we've had Alexi Lawless, we've had Jimmy Conrad, we've had Jason Davies from the United States of Soccer.
Follow-up question about one of your guests, though.
I don't know.
What was it like hearing Alexi Lawless's voice and knowing you couldn't just mute the TV?
It was a weird, surreal kind of moment because like having Alexi Lawless on at the time was just like, when our tiny podcast having even the ability to talk to anyone who had any merit in U.S. soccer was like, okay, let's totally do it. And it's just like, I am 100% aware of everything that Alexi Lawless is and continues to be as a human. It's just, you try not to bemoan the people who have done the solid of you coming on your lowly podcast in South Philadelphia. But, there's a part where the thing is, it's fun talking to a guy like that because he's really self-aware despite like how it is perceived. He understands that a lot of people, especially in American soccer, feel he's a heel. He's kind of this weird kind of thing that we've tolerated for a long time, kind of like not Mike Tirico. What's the Lee Corso? That's it. I love Lee Corso, but that's been about 10 years too late on that one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Self-aware is an improvement. I feel like if you had Joe Buck on a podcast, he'd have no clue.
Man, I would listen to at least 2 episodes of the Joe Buck podcast just to see where the general like vibe was. Like
it sounds like there's going to be at least 45 minutes of this 45-minute podcast.
I'm telling you right now, Troy, to convert this 3rd and 10, they're going to need at least 10 yards.
No, man, why are you giving me the oh man? So this is such a inside Philadelphia moment, but there's a guy who used to be the commentator for the Phillies and back in our like really good days, like in 2010. His name was Chris Matthews Sr., He's also known as Sarge, and he is John Madden was more descriptive than this gentleman was when it came to talking about a play. He'd be like, when you have a 3-and-1 count, one ball could be a ball. But if you take that ball, it could also be a strike. So you got to be aware. And it's just like, oh.
At this point, give me a beer and a microphone and I'll fucking do it.
That's where I mute the TV.
I can see it now, Dre commentating baseball. Okay. Pitcher. Don't know his name. Throws a ball. I don't know what type of ball it was. The umpire, he screams something. I think it's a strike. Okay.
I don't even have to go
oh.
that far. Dre doing baseball would just be Bob Menery without any of the voice acting talent.
Here's the thing I love about it. Go ahead.
Bringing this back to soccer a little bit, I was listening to Matt Harmon on the Red Bulls radio talk commentating the last game, and I shit you not, like I'm listening to the game and I have no idea what's happening. I literally
you could watch an entire game and not know one thing.
Who had the ball? Who scored a goal? Who got nothing? I don't know which side of the pitch.
No, they're atrocious.
None of that.
You might hear him be excited and just go, "Oh my god!" Doesn't explain it.
20-minute drive, and I had no clue who was doing better, who's nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, this is useless.
So do you guys have a radio team?
It's on TuneIn. It's on TuneIn Radio. Yeah, they have a radio broadcast.
So
not very good at anything, but they're there.
I think we're in year. Go ahead.
It's just live updates on where Royer's missed penalty shot is in orbit.
Oh,
hey, at least it's Higuain.
Oh,
we'll
we're
get
gonna
to that.
We're gonna talk about that. So, first and foremost, guys, we've already had an awesome conversation. I never want this podcast to end. We got to talk about what we're drinking. Adam, you're a returning guest. What are you enjoying this evening?
I am enjoying a nice Modelo Especial. That is only because my dudes at 2SP are still in the lab finishing our new Sons of Ben beer, which all of you gentlemen will obviously get some. But it's just, we got to finish it. I will say, we have a name. I will not be telling you what that name is, but we have a name. So
if it's Ilsinho based, I will not drink it. If it's Brendan Aronson based, I might try it.
It's American born, so it's got to be Brendan Aronson. Okay.
It might be just Mark McKenzie. You don't know.
Ooh. Medford Messi. I don't know.
Yo, here's the fun part. Watch out for his brother.
Oh, his brother. Yo, like listening to Sons of Ben the pod, I'm more excited about his brother, and then I'm excited about the sister that's apparently like.
Oh, she's.
Adam is.
We need to protect that man's mother's womb for like future generations.
They've had his dad on the pod, and that was one of the best. Apparently, the daughter is the most aggressive of the bunch. They need to start the women's Philadelphia Union. She'll already be a star.
No, we are already assuming we're going to lose her to Sky Blue because of like, territorial rights or whatever. But it's like legitimately, it's like the Holiday brothers in the NBA. All three of them are currently in the NBA. Two of them play for the Pacers. And they all say, yeah, our sister's the best athlete in the family. And it's not even a close second. And it's like that. The Aronson brothers are just like, we're great. We're going to go to Europe and play soccer. Because like I'm already predicting the 16-year-old is eventually going to go to Europe because why would he not? And it's like they're also saying, but our sister on the other hand. And it's just, I hear those stories too all the time. Like my sister is the best athlete in my family too. And I'm always just like, I really wish women's sports had more gusto behind it and a lot more leagues and some solid foundation, because then these really great athletes in these really great athletic families can be showcased. It's like, what if the Watts had a sister? She must be amazing at whatever the hell she does as well.
Yep. Very nice.
Dre, what are we drinking?
I am drinking a beautiful spot in Oktoberfest because it is Oktoberfest time, and that's what you drink during Oktoberfest.
In September. Kyle, what are you drinking?
Oktoberfest starts September 21st.
You even want me to tell you? It should be fairly obvious at 36 episodes in.
Wait, can you breathe into the mic?
Sure.
Adam,
let me smell your breath.
You got this.
Let me smell your breath.
As a frequent listener to the Post and Pints podcast, that is a PBR.
Oh,
yeah. Let's go. Let's get it.
I am far too lazy to ever go to the liquor store.
That's fair enough. I actually have one beneath me.
Thank God we have like a stockpile of PBR.
Some people stockpile ammunition. Kyle stockpiles.
Yeah, there's still
PBR.
like 40 more cases in the shed.
Wait, I gotta say, Kyle, real quick, whenever you come back to Philly, you gotta come down. There's a place on South Street called Bob and Barbara's. It is like the mecca of dive bars in a city of dive bars. And
Wait, hold on. Let me follow with this. Do they allow people without shirts in?
They might. It's actually,
right.
and here's the thing. Thursday night's drag night, so they got a lot of interesting.
Kyle,
rules.
you can walk right in.
A lot of interesting rules, but it's like it is the mecca of PBR in the city, and like it flows in every possible way. It's only $2 a can. It's like the best. And now here's the thing.
Look at his face. He's like,
got to be better than buying beer at the TLA.
Oh God bless the TLA. But no, they definitely, it's about 7 blocks from the TLA, unfortunately, but still, it is like the best place. It was 2 blocks away from my old apartment. I used to go there like every week, and you just sit there. It is a mecca of dive bars, and just the PBR flows like water from the ceiling. It's great.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's been way too long since I actually took a trip into Philly. Usually I just go to Westchester to probably watch Red Bull lose a playoff game.
That's just regular Chester. Westchester's where Bam is from.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
Castle
My
Bam.
fault.
Castle Bam.
Sorry, I have him on the brain today. I was watching one of his crazy interviews where he makes up his own language.
I'm here for that. Fun fact about that: Chester and Westchester are in 2 separate counties.
Just like Virginia goes.
Is it at least
west
of Chester?
So here's the fun part: Chester itself, Westchester is west of Chester. Chester County is where Westchester is. Delaware County is where the actual city of Chester is.
That's just too confusing.
That's too much geography. Alex, what are you drinking?
I got Knob Creek Old Fashioned pre-made. It's actually really good. Not gonna lie.
Pre-made Old Fashioned? That sounds like
Pre-made?
sacrilege. Pre-made Old Fashioned?
It came in this little glass, like apothecary bottle. I think it was like $6.99. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try one. And actually I got 2.
Was it as good as the drink with 4 million grams of sugar you had 2 weeks ago?
No. That was the Cayman Jack. What was it? Mojito. It's like 300 calories. It was literally like the one little glass jar had the same amount of sugar as like 4 Coca-Cola cans. So it was just alcoholic diabetes in a cup. Yeah, it was literally like I drank 2 and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. I turn around, I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. I think I have diabetes.
I don't ever want to be made fun of ever again for drinking anything pumpkin spice when basically Alex was drinking liquid diabetes last week.
I will take liquid diabetes over pumpkin. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me, Matt? Get out of here.
Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
I'm not in your house. You're in my Discord channel, all right? Get out of my Discord channel with your pumpkin spice.
Y'all go full send. I will ejectocito.
I will ban you from this channel and replace you with Adam.
I don't think any.
That's fine.
Anyway,
no one says anything. Oh, okay. Hey Adam, what are you doing next month?
Go.
Matt.
Yeah.
Go.
Hey Matt, what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm so glad someone asked. Thank you, Adam. I am big shout out to Costco. I might never buy beer from the liquor store again because $10 4-packs are like right up my alley. Oh, I'm getting pulled away. What's going on?
I just want to express to you the difference between the state of New Jersey and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, because you just said you bought beer from a Costco.
Yes, I did.
That's an option.
Yup.
Yeah. Look, man. Look, we were discovered by Quakers, and we got Byzantine fucking laws here. Like, we just got like Wegmans is the only supermarket, and Acme are the only ones allowed to sell. Actually, no, Whole Foods now too. We just got supermarket beer and wine and all that stuff. Costco. Forget about a Costco having that stuff.
So
there was a minute where you could buy like a barrel of Jack Daniels.
Yes, like literally, like it's like $10,000.
You can do that in the South. When I go to Myrtle Beach, I can do that at the Costco. But up north, I was like, "That's the thing." All right.
We have to have one nice thing because God knows there aren't many.
So I'm just drinking a variety pack from Jersey Girl Brewing Company because I continue to get made fun of and I keep being called, a Jersey girl. So,
are you on the can?
I am on the can.
That's what I thought.
I'm literally like, I'm getting actual sponsorship money. So sucks to be you.
Still better than that Ben Affleck movie, though.
Everything's better than the Ben Affleck movie.
There's been so many great movies about New Jersey, and then so many clunkers, and it's just like.
I recognize the Clerk series, and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. There's literally a scene where they're driving by where it says East Brunswick, and I'm like, huh, I live there.
We made a movie.
That's my like halfway point to New York, I feel, is always when I see the East Brunswick, New Brunswick sign, and I'm like,
Exit
even
9.
Yep.
my personal favorite has always been Perth Amboy.
Yeah.
That's always a good turnpike
Fantastic
spot.
food there.
Perth Amboy is where like the bad smell starts. So the Perth Amboy North is where the shit smell is.
The
right next to
Amboy
Staten
North,
Island.
that's when it starts smelling like shit in like
It's
Bay.
right next to
I feel like
Staten
it's
Island.
not quite Taylor Ham County though.
Yeah.
See,
No,
I once actually had to bypass Philly on a road trip where I was coming from the south and I actually had to go to New York. So I did the Delaware Memorial Bridge and did all of South Jersey through all of North Jersey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for a small state, you guys could not be flipping more different. Like that, like the north and the south of New Jersey are just like barely connected by a couple pizza slices and like Rutgers.
You're not
That's
wrong. You're
about
not
it.
wrong.
Plus, it's 2020. I'm pretty sure they moved the Mason-Dixon line somewhere up there too.
Look, man, it was never. It was always
exit 6 on the turnpike, and below that.
Yeah, below that you have Chew, and you're riding around in a lifted pickup truck.
For me, it was always every area outside of Philadelphia and the rest of Pennsylvania. That was always the line.
You're not wrong. I feel like when I'm going on a road trip towards, like, say, Ohio, there's like that maybe 10 minutes where I don't need to have a red hat on or I'm gonna get shot.
Look, what is that family vacation where Chevy Chase is like, roll them up. Roll them up. You get in the car in Philly, you fill up the gas tank, and you're like, please take me to Pittsburgh with this. I just need you to get me all the way to Pittsburgh.
As long as I don't have to stop in West Virginia.
Take me home, country roads, to the place I don't belong.
We got a lot to talk about today.
Hey, are we talking about soccer today at all?
Tune in for episode
Absolutely
4
not.
of episode.
3-part episode.
If you were here for a short MLS update, you showed up to the wrong place.
Hey, this is
But really a couple-
Post and Pints guys.
But to catch up with some MLS action going on this week, there were a couple big stories that actually happened. Tori Penso, have you ever heard of the name? Well, you should, because she becomes the first female center referee in the MLS since the year 2000. It's been 20 years. 20 years too long. 20 years way too long. And honestly, I think she did a pretty good job for that Nashville versus DC game. Overall, I think she actually, like I said, I have my opinions about the MLS refs, but we're not going to dive into that one bit. And for the first time since the return of MLS action, a game was canceled due to COVID cases. The Rapids versus Sporting KC game was postponed this week due to the rapid amount of COVID cases. So we're waiting to see what else is going to happen with that. They have not. They said that
Which
the games
team had cases, or what happened? Which players?
Rapids. There was 1 player and 3 staff members.
On the Rapids?
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
No problem.
What a handoff. But that's the bad news, at least the COVID cases. Great news about Tori Penso. Awesome. I thought that was like so excited because they didn't like advertise it at all. I basically just turned on the game and it's like, oh, cool. That's awesome.
That's really cool. I'm glad that that's happening. I really wish that, like, you know, I don't know if there was a lack of female reps between 2000 and now because like women don't go into that field, or if it was kind of like some gatekeeping going on. But, you know, good for Tori. And I hope that more women do it. I know the Bundesliga 1 or 2 years ago finally started having a bunch of female refs. So I hope it's a trend that continues on.
It just makes the most sense, you know. I mean, it's just like if you look at every other female league in the universe, they have male refs in their league. So what's the diff? I've always been the biggest component of that. I'm a huge college basketball fan, and one of the best coaches in the world is Gina Armiella. But also another one is Dawn Staley, and people are like, well, can Dawn Staley coach the men? I'm like, why wouldn't she be able to coach the men? If Gino can coach the women, why can't Dawn coach the men? You know,
I didn't know basketball rules were different based on genitals.
it literally isn't.
I had no clue.
Now that softball thing, we got to talk about.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
The only okay, Kyle, I'm gonna cut it real nice and dry for you. The only difference between the women's basketball league and the men's basketball league is the women have the blessing of not having LeBron James complain 45 times a game that he's being fouled going to the hall. Not a basketball podcast. We're not going into that.
Wow.
I'm here for that though.
Oh, Adam, after this podcast, we'll have some after hours talking about how LeBron James complained to the NBA that he wasn't getting fouled enough.
Matt, we have something in the schedule. Shortly after this podcast, you have to do part 40 of your take on MLS versus Premier League refs.
I love this.
So the Philadelphia Union did a thing.
Several, I heard.
So since we have Adam on the pod, of course, we're talking about some Philadelphia Union. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, recently beating the Miami of Inter, CFFC, Fort Lauderdale, and Gonzalo Higuain 3-0. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but I mean, the Philadelphia Union are not only second in the East, but second in the Supporter Shield race as well. We got a couple of their young stars moving. Adam, tell us a little bit about what's going on over there in Chester, PA.
This has never been a greater time to be a Philadelphia Union fan. That goes without saying. We are delirious right now in Chester. I was actually at the game last night, and like not in the stadium, but like outside, social distancing outside. But like the vibes that the fan base has, the team has, it's huge, and it's like, and it's funny now because everyone else in Philadelphia is just absolutely shitting the bed. So it's like the Union, so like Union fans, because like here's the thing, most of us are also fans of the other teams too. So it's not like we're just like, hey, we're soccer fans and that's it. Like there's some of us that are, but for the majority of us, we say we're 5 for 5. I'm 17 for 17 because whatever has Philadelphia on it, I root for it. But it's like you see so many of the fans now when all the discussions about Philadelphia is like, oh man, Carson Wentz is terrible and the Phillies missed the playoffs and the Flyers lost in the cup final or in the second round of the Stanley Cup, and like are the Sixers going to hire Doc Rivers? And I'm like, the Union are in bleeping second place and are playing, and they're setting the world on fire with like 2 young players that are going to be gone at the end of the season to go have great aspirations on other continents. And it's like, and here's the fun part about it is we have a guy like Brendan Aronson who already has his verbal agreement with Salzburg. It seems like he's going to be gone by the end of the season, which I mean, good for him. You're going to go to a Champions League caliber club.
That team and Jesse Marsh are a perfect fit for the way he plays. Just the press they play just couldn't be better.
Absolutely, like it is a perfect match. Like there's some times where I'm like, it's easier to get Americans into Bundesliga because I think visas and all that.
Hearing the name Red Bull makes you want to throw up, but
but like, look, but here's the thing about that. It's the same thing where it's like, am I like? It's like, I'm not going to buy the jersey, but I will admit, like, if he went to Man City, I probably would have the same reaction where I'm just like, I'm not going to buy the jersey, but, good as shit for him. That's awesome that he gets to go to that caliber of a club,
The same mindset about Christian Pulisic. I love that Christian Pulisic is absolutely tearing it up, but you won't ever catch me buying Chelsea shit.
Blue is the color. Football is the game. We're all together.
Do you have like a feeling as a Philly fan, and especially as a Union fan, since you've been with the club for years, do you have a feeling that like, oh snap, this is going too well, something's going to come crumbling down soon?
Yeah.
I get that sometimes with the Red Bull.
We're all very similar.
Absolutely. What do you mean, sir? In my life, I've seen every single one of my teams go to a final. How many championships do you think I've seen? So like, I'm completely secure with the fact that everything can come crashing down literally tomorrow. Like that's Philadelphia in a nutshell. Like we can only get so cocky because we know the rug will be pulled eventually. We just don't know when.
But until then,
yeah, right. And it's just like, and here's the thing: as a Union fan, we've earned this. We've gone through so much bullshit with ownership, with lack of signing players, and like, here's the thing. The ownership can also give us the bird now because they said we're going to invest in this academy. And we were like, we just want you to sign someone. And then eventually this academy has produced that level of talent where I'm even after last night's game, I'm like, so how long are we going to have Anthony Fontana? Because I think someone's going to notice.
He's been, dude.
It's insane that he can't get a starting spot with the way he's been playing.
Our midfield is jammed. Who does he start over Bedoya? Does he start over Montero? Does he start over Aronson? Like, who do you put him on?
Exactly. That's a hell of a problem to have.
I was about to say,
I'll take that problem.
Dre has said this on numerous occasions. It's a what do you say? It's
an embarrassment of riches.
Embarrassment of riches.
Our midfield situation is unreal because, like, again, we're still keeping Ilsinho on the bench casually too because it's just all of these random humans. And now we got I'm looking at Fontana, who scored 4 goals in his last 3 matches and has only played 113 minutes. In those 4 goals that he scored. So I'm like, how long does some European club look at this and be like, we might need to go get him too? And then
he's on the way.
So before we continue talking about the game, because we're gonna talk about a little bit more about the Philly game against Miami, I want to hear more about the Sons of Quarantine.
Yes, my brothers and sisters in arms. It's actually kind of funny too, because we had the world famous Fandemic crew of the now not playoff bound Philadelphia Phillies come and join us. And that was a really great experience. But it's just like, it's been cathartic, because it's just like, I've known these people for 7-8 years now, and these are my people. These are people that, when they were kind of when I thought they were going to cancel the season, it made sense, obviously, because of global pandemics. But at the same time, you're just like, man, am I not going to see my family? Am I not going to see my people? So the fact that, and it was in driving rain last night. We were in a monsoon in Chester. No lie. They said it was going to be light rain, and my clothes are still wet.
I saw your tweet, but can you win on a rainy, cold Wednesday night in Chester?
In Chester, right, man. Look, I love this club so much, only because the best part about it is they're a bunch of us. Aronson's from South Jersey, Mackenzie's from Bear, Delaware, all of these guys, Fontana is from Pennsylvania, all these guys are from right around the damn corner. And it's like they care. It's like you saw it. The antithesis was last night. You have a guy like Higuain who comes in here and beautiful. I get it. It's great for MLS. It's great for Miami. That's what they're going to do. I always tell people there's 3 cities in America these guys are going to want to play in: Miami, New York, and LA. That's it. They're not going to want to play in Chester. I get that. So you got to grow our team. It's going to be a lot more of that kind of stuff. But it's like, what stake do you think Higuain has in the success of Inter Miami, as opposed to a kid who grew up going to Union games and is now contributing to Union games? That difference is we have photos of Aronson and Matt Freese, who's our 3rd string goalie, and all these guys at the original 2010 Union game in the Link, and now they're playing for their boyhood clubs. That's
the dream.
Right, the Red Bull love Tyler Adams.
I was about to say, you look at it, they have pictures all throughout Red Bull Arena, especially if you have the ability of going before the locker rooms and the tunnels, they allow fans sometimes access to that on they'll do events, and you see photos of Alex Muehl, Manhattan, Sean Davis, I can't remember the town,
somewhere
New Jersey,
in Jersey, I think.
Someone in Jersey, but a lot of the core at the moment are either New Jersey or New York, and there is that sense of pride, and you're always going to have. I always say this, and I get chewed out as a Man United fan all the time.
You're too drunk to taste that chicken?
I am definitely too drunk to taste this chicken. But the fact that
not that. Sorry.
But you look at it, certain players, you can tell when they had to grow up in the academy. I look at Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford busts his ass more than anyone else because he knows what it means to put on the badge. And it's easier for someone who comes in at $100 million transfer. They're not going to know. It's the same thing with Chelsea. You look at all the kids that they played last year, and they finished 4th, and the average age of Chelsea was what, 19? You have pride. You have pride when you've been with it from the start. One final question before we get to the games.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not asking you. Please, as much Philly pride as you can in this answer.
Please.
What is your expectation for not only the rest of this season, but what are your playoff expectations? Because you guys are definitely in the playoffs.
last shout out to Sons of Quarantine. My boy Jarrett Nisley. He's the guy who pretty much started the whole thing from scratch. He also started the Union Zoom happy hour with one of our board members, Heather. So shout out to him for the Sons of Quarantine, because again, that's been so cathartic, and the response of the team to the Sons of Quarantine has been really great. You know, they love it, we love it, and it's great. Yeah, we're gonna win MLS Cup.
I'm sorry.
I got nothing else.
I'm ready to be heard again.
Dre,
Yeah,
Dre,
look.
Dre, you can't laugh. I say, Dre, you can't laugh here. Like I'm not taking anything away from Columbus being in first place, but that was a 50-50 game.
I'm not laughing because it's impossible.
I don't really have a stake in which way it goes.
Because hearing it out loud is just so foreign.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not doable. Jabilko, Ilsinho, Fontana, Aronson, Blake is killing it in net. Like, it's very possible. It's just I've never heard it out loud and be like, oh wow, that's the thing that could happen. So I just have to cover all that and laugh.
I don't have a stake either way. I just want to see as many games between Philly and Columbus as humanly possible.
And and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the fact that they scheduled both of our games away at Columbus is not, a kind of a farce, but whatever. We'll talk about that later with, the scheduling. Because, I'm just like, look, man, if you want us to eat food against the East Coast right now, let us eat food. I'm okay with that. But at the same time, that's kind of fucked up that you're making me go to Ohio twice and they ended up coming to Chester. But anyway, look, man, why not? For every reason that you just mentioned, why the hell not? We have literally a midfield that I've never been prouder of. Like, we got a back line where I have 3 different center backs that I'm like, play all 3 of them. And then we got wings. I got Kai Wagner now, who is now back from injury after Matt Real, another homegrown, was killing it on the side. I got, Mbaizo, Ray Gaddis's backup, killing it on the right side, who was also a youth product. Between McKenzie, Glesnes, and Jack Elliott, I got my pick of center backs. Look, I'm looking at this team right now, and I also recognize that COVID's a thing, and there's a disjointed scheduling system and all this. But I saw that Union LAFC game before everything went to shit, and I was like, this team can do that, because it's like because at this point I'm like, who the biggest issue the Union used to have was we don't have anyone who could score a goal, and we can't win on the road. We were the second best road record in MLS last year, and we've now found a 15-goal scorer in Shabilko with also Santos, with also Aronson, with also Fontana. And it's just like, why not? Why not? That's a complete team. That's a complete team that bought in to a coach who's been there for 7 years, to a sporting director who's done it in Germany. Why not?
I have one question that I want to get your opinion on before we move on from this topic, and that is, how much would you die inside if Aronson goes to Salzburg and gets loaned to the Red Bull?
Here's the thing. I would die a little bit inside, but at the same time, I'm like, you could have sent him to Leipzig? You had to send him all the way back to New York? That's kind of messed up. Geez, there was no
here. Go home now.
Go home. All the way home. But it was just no. But here's the thing. I do believe he'll be loaned somewhere, because he is he had prom a year ago. So I'm not exactly
hey,
as much as
all of us here were at the game where Tyler Adams skipped, I don't know if it was prom, but I think he skipped his graduation. His high school graduation. He skipped graduation to be at Red Bull Arena and play a game. So, but that's
graduation.
That was a derby. That was a derby game. Hold on.
It was the Hudson River.
Yeah,
okay, I get it. I'm about to say he was playing Colorado. I'm like, go to your graduation, child.
He's like, I gotta whip somebody's ass. I can't.
I gotta go wipe the floor with David V. I'll be right back.
I mean, graduations are really anticlimactic anyway, so I understand.
Yeah, but that's all I got.
So we're going to dive into MLS action, and we are going to start with the Philadelphia Union defeating Gonzalo Higuain's Inter Miami in his debut.
He's a fraud.
How is it already his on his debut?
Gonzalo Royer, right? That's his new name?
So I'm going to have Kyle start with the statistics. But before we say anything whatsoever, I need an Andre Blake fan club t-shirt, because this man does not get the praise on being the best goalie in the MLS.
So here's the fun part about this. We looked at the rankings for FIFA. He's like the 6th rated goalie in FIFA for MLS. And I'm
We
just
did-
like, okay. But here's the thing. Like, we are the greatest catch-22 of Andre Blake's entire existence is the fact that he plays for Jamaica. Because if he played for any other nation, he would have already been in Europe 2 years ago.
Kamar
And that-
Lawrence.
You're not wrong.
Somewhere Kamar Lawrence is agreeing with you heavily because currently right now Kamar Lawrence is playing in Belgium, and that's because he basically he left, moved to Europe, and then called the Red Bull and been like, "Hi, I'd like to get transferred." Well, we really can't do that. Well, I'm actually already in Europe, so you're gonna have to move me.
That's a force, but yeah, it was always Jamaica's FIFA rating that just kept him from being picked up by any freaking real club, and I was just like, Andre Blake, there's a reason why he was the first pick of the bleeping draft as a goalie, you know?
Is he still
Yeah.
the only goalie in history to be drafted for first overall?
As far as I know, but as you know, the Union have opted out completely of the last 2 super drafts, so I'm not sure what even happened those years.
So Kyle, break it down. Your point of view. What happened in that game?
That's a case to me of number one, Gonzalo Higuain had almost literally just landed from getting his paperwork through. He should not have been on a field with people that he had not even practiced with. No business being there. Like, as much as we can make fun of everything, like, that wasn't him. It shouldn't have happened. And number two, I mean, if you look at the numbers, Miami did have the edge on possession and shots. It's just they couldn't make anything happen, and Philly could. Philly's the better team.
And Dre, you got anything to add on to that? Was Philly really that dominant, or did Inter Miami just they did lose? Yeah.
I always got to bring this point up since I've said it time and again. Goalkeepers fucking matter. And this game, both Robles and Blake played off their heads. Robles let in a bunch of shots. I get it. But, when Aronson steals a ball in the 90th minute and your defense is just gone, okay, you shit out of luck there. Ilsinho off the bench, another great goal. So, Philly had the good goals, but it could have been worse. It really could have been worse. Same way Bayern last week and lost 4-1. Bayern should have lost 7-1 if it wasn't for Neuer, or 6-1. So you really do got to give credit to Robles and to Blake, but they both played an amazing game in net. It's possible that Philly would not have gotten a clean sheet if it wasn't for him also. So
He was a couple goals away from starting to scream, "Now's not the fucking time, Alex."
You're damn right.
I really think there are times, I bet you Luis Robles in the back of his, it's kind of like you're at a job and you hate your job. You absolutely hate your job. Every single day you walk in and you hate everyone around you. You're in your head cursing them out, and you leave that job and you go to another job, and then you realize, man, that last job wasn't that bad now, was it?
Yep.
So what you're saying is post the Red Bull.
And Adam, is there anything that these guys missed?
2 things. I have a love-hate relationship, obviously, with Luis Robles. Look, I'm watching both Luis Robles be a decent enough goalie and Bradley Wright Phillips put some goals in, and I'm like, guys, how are y'all feeling? Because that just seems weird to me.
I'm still kind of not off the ledge from the whole BWP thing, to be honest with you.
The weirdest thing is seeing BWP in 66, not 99, because I'm like, come on, is there really anyone at LAFC with 99 right now? Like, come on.
He's holding like a rack of sweatshirts. What the fuck am I going to do with all these?
I had an entire wardrobe set up for this. I thought I had the inside track.
Can someone we're gonna do research after the pod. Is 2-9's clothing company still happening, or is he trying to get that to 2-6's now?
I feel like there has to be a company who's like Route 66 is gonna sue the hell out of him. They still make jeans somewhere in like a Costco, so that's a problem. But no, from the Union perspective, we should have scored 5 goals. I know that, and that's the realness of that. And I'm like, and here's the thing: being a cocky Union fan is super awkward because it's never been a thing ever in our existence. Has there ever been a time where other teams would look at us and say they're good? We're not excited to play the Union. Like, that's never been our history. So to be a cocky Union fan is surreal and feels ironic. It almost feels like it's like I have weird imposter syndrome right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, I look at this club and I get disappointed sometimes by score lines that we win because I know that we left some things on the table. I know that we were like, that game against Cincinnati is going to annoy me for years because, like, yeah, we got a point out of that, but like, it's Cincinnati, bro. If you're that good, get a goal against Cincinnati and let's
have
move
a
on.
few lucky games, or does Philly and New York Red Bull just really suck for losing to Cincy?
And I think it's, well, here's the thing. I think, I'll give the Union a pass because that was it was a third game in 8 days kind of fiasco. It was a midweek clash in rainy ass Southwest Ohio. So, I'm going to give them the half pass. But at the same time, like, if you believe you're elite, you need to get that point. You need to get all 3 points in there. But it's like, then they turn around and they're just like, they shut the hell out of Miami. And the week before that, they put a 4 spot on Thierry Henry. So it's just like, yeah, I'm like, I feel it.
Putting 4 in against Thierry Henry right now.
Shout outs to the lads. I saw you, gentlemen.
That was depressing watching that Red Bull game, and it's just like he's not arguing with the red card. He just doesn't give shit already.
Oh my, I like, honestly, your Red Bull experience reminds me of being a Flyers fan. Because it's just like every time the Flyers get good, but then don't win the cup, we sell our guys and they immediately go and win a cup. Like, my favorite Flyer of all time is Simone Gagne. And the minute he goes to Los Angeles, he hoists a cup. And I'm just like, good for you, Simone. Good for you.
That's how you can tell how long somebody's been a Red Bull fan, because we're always all really loud and obnoxious. But then as soon as the playoff starts, it's like, I ain't talking shit.
Nope.
I ain't saying anything.
Shut my mouth.
Nope.
I just, like, out of nowhere, like, the night, like, the night before the playoffs start ever, I think all Metro fans, all Red Bull fans, we all just have cold sweats and we all wake up to, like, a little whisper of a ghost in the corner of a dark room. It goes, "That's so Metro."
You just picture tie game, like 90+6, and then Royer just orbits one through the moon. You're just like, yep, that's going to happen, isn't it?
To wrap up the Philly game, like I said before, Andre Blake, he's the best goalie in the league. And I need people to stop thinking their opinion matters when they're talking about other goalies. Number 2,
Cue ball is not a good goalie. Go fuck yourself.
You just wait until Kepa comes to the MLS.
Oh, God, he's going to be in Miami tomorrow. You know that, right? Like, that's exactly what that's going to happen.
I'd be there for every minute of it.
I'm telling you, Big Frank's on the phone with Bex. He's like, "Hey, I think I helped you out once or twice in our England career. You owe me a favor. You need to get this goalie off my payroll."
It's your former guy, Frank Lampard. You know that goalie you were looking for? Well, watch this.
Oh.
But Higuain overall was really fun to watch. Honestly, like, because he does. Like, you almost saw the almost bicycle kick goal. Like,
imagine that's his first goal in the league, man.
And that's what I'm saying.
God.
Overall, I'm telling you right now, I think it's exciting to have Higuain in the league, and I think he's going to have a really good time. I see, like, almost like a Zlatan thing without, like, the Zlatan ego, of course. Aaronson's way too much.
I feel bad for COVID. It caught the Zlatan.
Oh yeah, COVID's about to not exist because Zlatan got COVID, and he's going to discover the cure.
Yep.
Aaronson is absolutely way too much fun to watch, and absolutely. And I'm telling you right now, we already talked about it, but Fontana is turning into something really special himself, and I feel like that's going to be a major talking point in the future. Even with Miami having the majority of the possession, they just didn't do anything with it. I mean, it's.
And I low key, and I was even to belabor the point because obviously I'm a Union fan, so obviously I'm gonna want to talk Union all day. But like, yeah, that's their mentality. The Union have always been hold the ball, like have it, enjoy having it, and then we'll just take it and score. That's really how that went.
We're gonna talk about Portland in a minute because Portland literally has won cups with that mentality. But now we're on our way a little bit further north. We're on our way to Chicago and Soldier Field as the Chicago Fire and their wonderful graphic design team edited away to beating the Houston Dynamo 4-0. Now we started with Kyle last time. So Dre, what happened here? I mean, God, watching this game, it's just like
I haven't watched a Chicago game in God knows how long. So this was just like, what is even happening? They're like not bad. What? It was genuinely like a pretty interesting game to watch. Chicago played well. I don't even know what to say. I barely know the players. It's not a game I
Feels
normally
almost
watch.
as weird to say as saying the Union beat 2 members of Juventus.
That did happen.
Anthony Fontana went 1-on-1 with Blaise Matuidi and scored a goal. That's all I'm gonna say.
Cristiano Ronaldo's watching the Cristiano Ronaldo's watching the TV. Why don't we have him? No, we're gonna block all European channels from watching the Philadelphia Union. We need to keep these guys here in the MLS. Go ahead, Dre.
But no, that game was really good. Standout player for me is Fabian Herbers. Like, he was nowhere near my radar before, just because, like I said, I really paid attention to Chicago. But that performance that he had really kind of put him on the map for me. And I mean, Chicago fucking got it done, dude. They played a great game.
Former Union product, by the way. We actually drafted Fabian. And he played for us for a while. He was we called him Cheese because every time he acted like a cat after he scored. So, but no, and we knew Fabian.
Were you guys run by the Pittsburgh Pirates by any chance?
Yeah, no, we were
little pieces of your farm team everywhere.
So look, half of Colorado is us. Like if you look at like Keegan Rosenberry is us, Zach McMath was us, down CJ Sapong was us. Down in Miami, the backup goalie McCarthy was us. So the Union. It's funny. The Pittsburgh Pirates analogy is 100% accurate because we were literally just being like, do you want our slightly above average talent to make your team better? All right, here you go, But yeah, Fabian is a quality product, and we knew he was capable of this kind of work, but the system that we were trying to implement was not on brand to his product. So the type of player that he was, because he's truly more of a wing than a 9. But yeah, the kid can play. The kid can totally play.
Anything else to add on that Chicago game?
Kyle?
I thought Dre wasn't done. My bad. That's the only reason I wasn't talking.
I cut Dre off. I don't care if he had more to talk about. We're not talking with Dre anymore.
But I cared.
I'm a little just more amazed that not only did Houston get a 6-game winning streak snapped, it was to the last place team in the MLS. I swear I love how unpredictable this league is.
Say hashtag
and the
no
fact that
safe.
Chicago in the first half, for all means and purposes, it probably should have been 5 goals before the half, an offside goal and a missed penalty. Not a good look for Houston.
Oh, and I'm telling you that right now. Overall, I mean, Chicago dominated every single factor of this game. Houston, a bit. I don't know if you want to blame it on the travel. I don't know if you want to blame it on maybe they had a deep dish pizza before the game. I mean,
schedule congestion.
If you're gonna play like that, just stay on the bus, dude.
I'm gonna blame it on the deep dish pizza, but that's just me. But overall, you can tell that Chicago's game plan worked clear as day in this game. 4 different goal scorers for their 4 goals. Little side note: CJ Sapong, for the first time in 2020, got on the goal sheet, and I know Adam's happy about that.
CJ Sapong, he's banged your sister and probably your mom.
That's cool.
God, I love that. God, I love this league
That's also
so
after
much.
That's also after getting his penalty blocked, and I think it was called back for what the goalie was off the line or some shit.
Yeah.
First penalty was blocked.
Don't you dare jump off that line. Okay, not even 2 centimeters. David De Gea will tell you a story. We are now on our way all the way to the other side of the country as Portland took on rival Seattle. Pacific Northwest derby going on over here. And Portland decided to take Seattle's winning streak and basically just tell them in the nicest way possible, yeah, you could take your Starbucks and you could just stick it straight up your ass because your winning streak is over. 3 straight goals, 3 straight games with a goal for Yimi Chara. But Dre, what are we thinking? I mean, 1-0, but Seattle should have had this, right?
This rivalry is like quickly becoming my favorite personal rivalry to watch. Honestly, if like
easily been the best this
2020 and you just rewrite the rest of the history of MLS, like this could be El Clasico, Der Clasico, whatever the fuck country is, whatever you want to call it. Like this game is the fucking one. It's the not the meth gator derby. It's the opioid oyster derby. Is that what we called it? Is that what we named it?
Yes,
The
yes. This
opioid
is,
oyster derby.
Good God. This game, it was only a 1-0 game, but either team could have had it. It was back and forth. Rui Diaz had a couple fucking shots blocked, which is like he's having an off day. And all it takes is one player having an off day and the other side takes it. One shot, and right at the goal, the other shot went over the net. So this rivalry is what you really want as a fan, as a neutral, really. As a neutral, this game is so much fun. This is probably one of the more fun games outside of the Philly LAFC game, way back pre-COVID. So entertaining. And honestly, like, I'm not going to shit on Seattle here. They didn't win the game, but this is by no means is a shitty performance. And, I'm not going to hold it against them. You win some, you lose some, but I'm not going to
66% possession and 19-9 on shots. I mean, you can't really blame Seattle very much.
I enjoyed it. I think Seattle will bounce back. I'm not too worried for him.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, and it's funny enough that Seattle and Portland, if I'm not mistaken, yep, they are completely tied on points at 24. So, I mean, they're currently right now the two that are representing the West as best as possible. Kyle, did you have anything you wanted to add there?
The only thing I really wanted to add is maybe I'm the only one. I don't think I am. How much more exciting this rivalry is because both of the Roldan brothers and both of the Chara brothers playing at the same time. Even better.
Agreed. Yeah, I love brother on brothers. I love that.
I wonder if Portland's going to sign Zdeno Chara soon. Then
I say something. No, I mentioned Zdeno Chara in a different context, but yes,
I feel like we've been back and forth with this.
It was Zdeno Chara versus little
Connor
guy in the
Lade.
Red Bull. Connor Lade. That's
Connor
the
Lade,
reference. I
That's
brought
it.
up.
That's it.
Who's the little guy in the Red Bull? What's his name?
Connor Lade, the new fan ambassador or whatever the title of that. Yeah, okay.
He's Drake.
Yeah, basically
He's your
Drake. Basically,
Or
he's
less.
Drake. He's the guy on the sidelines yelling at Kevin Durant, telling him he ain't shit in the NBA Finals.
You mean Philadelphia owner Kevin Durant?
Oh yeah, hey, good shout out. I
Philadelphia
didn't
Union owner. Yeah.
I didn't even connect
That's
one to
6
two.
degree- It's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, man. It's all good.
That's
I
it.
understand. Yeah, no.
That's it. And Adam, I mean, hey, anything you want to add on to this game?
I love both of those cities and markets as soccer cities because it just makes complete sense, why those two places would make soccer such a big deal. I've always said if you got 4 teams in your market, MLS is going to have a tough time. It's just going to have a tough. But when you got a place like Portland where it's just like we have one team, we love the Trailblazers, but they don't really overlap normally, so we're good with that. And you have a system where like Seattle's like we just lost our soccer team, yeah, we lost our basketball team, yeah, we got a hockey team, but like this is a ripe market for that. Me and Matt always joke on the pod that Seattle and Portland believe they've invented soccer, but as a observer. If I could get the Sons of Ben to do one day like Seattle in any capacity, my career's done. I can retire after that. I don't have to be a capo ever again,
Dude, I like Justin, who formerly was on this podcast, me and him actually had the opportunity of going to see the Red Bull play against Seattle and Portland in the same week. And it's life-changing. Those environments are absolutely, completely life-changing. You walk around.
Some of those supporter groups out there just kind of depresses you as an East Coast fan.
The fact that the Portland supporters, the Timber Army, you have to show up 9 hours before the game if you want to be up. Like if you want to be in the front row, you have to be there a day early. Like you have to camp out with a chair. You have to sit there and like.
Is this a Best Buy or is this a soccer field?
But that's what I'm saying. Like there have been times I've walked into Red Bull Arena 15 minutes after the game has started. And I'm walking up to the second row of the South Ward.
Dude, I stumble belligerently drunk into RBA on a regular basis and end up in the fourth row. And then I end up falling over myself and knocking people over and all kinds of
Me
other
and
stuff.
Alex walk in 15 minutes late because we were trying to chug more beers in the parking lot, and we still get down there.
Do you want me?
Kyle and I know the story of the pocket beer. You got it from the parking lot to the entrance. You got a pocket beer.
Yeah, you have at least 2.
Yeah.
Do you want me to mention the tarps? I can mention the tarps. We can talk about the tarps.
No.
Please don't.
No, we
You want me to
haven't.
mention
Oh, the
tarps?
tarps are happening post the Red Bull.
Hey,
Hold on, time out.
Red Bull had tarps before COVID. I just want everyone to know.
We had Red Bull had tarps before it was
COVID.
cool. Before
That's
it was
the most
cool, bro.
hipster thing.
Like we had tarps before it was cool. Okay, you know.
No. And I love it though, because it's just like we have the same vibes in the Sons of Ben like 3 years ago. Like the problem we have with the River End is because it's always historically the cheapest part of the StubHub tickets. We have casual people show up all the time, and we're just like, so we're gonna be cursing and throwing shit, and there's gonna be flags and stuff, and this woman has like 6 children.
30 feet that way is the opposing team, so you guys better be ready.
Yeah, no, and I love that, especially when like y'all show up because like y'all take the whole thing.
Love it. I love it.
It's the dumbest thing. No, because it gives the Chester police something more to do other than just protecting one of the most dangerous cities in America. But no, legitimately, it's a good time.
We go to so many away games, but god damn it, I love Chester because if I curse at someone over there, I can hear his reply. Like,
he's like, no, fuck you. like legitimately.
And I love it. I love that it's so close. It's the dumbest idea in terms of security detail or anything else, but I love it. As a fan, I love it.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say 4 teams. We have to only use cups. Like we can't bring bottles into our section for y'all, DC United, NYUFU, and Rebs. Because of that, because of only one Red Bull match against the Union where they were throwing bottles back and forth between the sections. So now all perceived rivalry matches, like, no more.
I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Because
you're sitting here.
Who throws the shoe?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I'm a little further back, and I'm just like, oh, they're throwing things at us. Oh, no, we're throwing things back. Oh, I'm sitting here like I didn't pay attention to soccer for like 10 minutes. I'm just too busy watching people just throw stuff back and forth.
I find myself doing that every time we go to Chester because it's always like we'll be watching the game, then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what did they just say? And then I'm like listening to you guys for like 10 minutes.
What'd you say about my mother? What?
Quickly, we're going to go back to the Portland game, but there's one thing I can't wait to do is actually have a game where we go into we're going to be able to go back into Subaru Park as away traveling supporters. And I'm going to see Adam on the capo stand and I'm going to text him, hey, I'm in row X. I want him to look at me so I can look at him. And in the heat of battle, I just want to do like a nerd wave.
No, you know I would. I would. Actually, I've gotten in trouble for that, but I do that all the time because, like, when I went to St. Joe's, so half of the people I know are from either New York or Connecticut, so the Red Bull fans are like all the time, and I'm like, okay, you all suck.
Like that's the moment I can't wait for because I can't wait for people to be around me, other traveling supporters, be like, did you just wave at their capo? And did he just wave at you back? Yeah, dude, we're friends. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, your dude, oh God, this is so embarrassing right now. Bigley, pint-sized, man. I love that guy. I adore.
I didn't even think of that.
I love him because like we kind of were just talking. It's like regular shit housing on, I think it was Twitter. And then we just realized, we're both capos. We got war stories, man. Like and we're both capos of teams that have been like gently disappointing to us as fans. So it's just like, yo, man, that one time where you were in a final and then you lost on penalty kicks? Like, yeah, man, I got those stories too. That sucks. Like,
Yeah, but at least you guys are doing good. The Red Bull stopped using lube like 2 years ago.
They're taking us still out to dinner as of right now. That's what Aronson is. Aronson is foreplay. Like they give us Brendan Aronson and say, do you like this? This is right. This is good, right? This is fun.
But overall, that Portland game was sure exciting.
That was good. Cascadia till I die. Love that stuff.
Steve Clark stood on his absolute head in this game once again, being one of the big, another goalie who doesn't get enough love in this league. And I believe the goalies need a lot more love. For the first time in a very long time, Roy Diaz had a very not so MVP game, and I'm still not taking
Yep,
anything away.
yep.
I think he is still my MVP frontrunner, but there were a couple golden opportunities. He just absolutely, I don't have the word. He just messed it up.
Happens to the best of them. Happens to the best of
And
them.
I'm not taking, and like that's why I said he's still my number one on my MVP race. But overall, Portland won the way Portland wins, with no possession, strong defense, and counterattacking soccer. And Seattle, you know how Portland plays, and yet they played their game plan right into it. But I also expect more from Seattle because they had 19 shots on target in this game. That's ridiculous. Like the fact that not getting
That's
into
Red
it.
Bull levels of not finishing.
I was about to say
That's
pretty soon they're
sad.
gonna pretty soon. Tommy Barlow's putting in 2 goals a game. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle came knocking. On our way, I was on our way to the North. We are the North. We spoke about Drake before, so this is Drake's homeland. Toronto upsetting the league leaders in Columbus 3-1, which shakes up the entire Supporter Shield race up to this point. Kyle, you've been talking about Columbus all year. What happened to you boys?
They didn't look good.
The
There's no
dramatic
arguing
pause.
that.
The dramatic pause was everything.
But I think you could say the same thing about a lot of the other games we've talked about. I think it double for this game. Toronto's been winning strange games that nobody thought they were going to, and vice versa. It's all those teams in Canada has been weird this year. And number 2, it's just that part of the schedule. The whole thing's really congested, and just you can start seeing that starters are gassed.
Dre, I mean,
but you do have to give it up to Jarea, though. You do have to give it up to Jarea, though. Without him getting down that right side pretty much every time, that comeback doesn't happen. They don't win that game.
And
I
now
got 2 points. Yeah, I got 2 points in this game. One, I mean, Josie Altidore, welcome back. You got to go. Second goal of the season, I think. So that's a thing, Just seeing Josie.
He's too big. He's too busy trying to bind Real Salt Lake.
Right. And then the second thing is just like Kyle said, Richie Larea, young Canadian kid. Everyone's been sleeping on the Canadians until they start showing up and doing stuff. And you're like, whoa, what is this? First it was Alphonso Davies. And then he got a big money contract going out to Europe. And then this game, another player I never heard of, Richie Larea. He's doing super well. There's another guy in some other team. I forget his name off the top of my head right now. But the Canadian players
from that team, he's great.
That guy from that team. I'm working on pulling him up right now. So I'm trying to not fumble my words as much. But the Canadian players have been showing up. What's the guy's name? Buchanan from New England. I'm pretty sure he's a Canadian, and they're doing pretty well. So hopefully the Canadian national team gets some players to help out Davies. But no, this game Larea was impressive, and I think he's a big part of why they won that game in particular. 100%.
The North. Are Toronto legit here?
They tend to be. They tend to hang around and be a team that has been it's weird to think about the humble beginnings of Toronto being a pretty much doormat in MLS to being now one of the premier teams and one of the more consistent teams. Toronto waltzed their way into the MLS Cup final. It's just why? But there they are. They're just there again.
Their Jovinko years were great. So, you had him for a while.
I know, and it makes sense. They are a huge market. Toronto is a very large city. It should have that kind of talent coming into a club if they're investing properly into it. So, it's cool to kind of just see. I mean, it's annoying as an Eastern Conference, supporter, but it's cool to see that they just consistently find ways to compete at a high level. And look, as a Union fan, I'm happy they took down Columbus, but it's they have a swagger about them that they just believe now they're in every game, and they'll do what is necessary each time. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
As Kyle said, the league leaders looked human for the first time all season, in my opinion. Columbus did look absolutely gassed, but I believe it was overall Toronto's game plan They perfectly counter press. They put on that counter press and they put all that pressure in the midfield, causing a lot of turnovers, which led to all 3 goals. Josie Altidore, welcome back to the MLS, like Dre said. And overall, I mean, really, there's not much Columbus could have done in this game. Toronto played an absolutely perfect game. Just to give you guys a quick Supporter Shield race update, Columbus coming in at 30 points. Philadelphia and Toronto both tied with 28. Orlando at 26. And Seattle and Portland coming in with 24. This is not the NBA where the West owns the league. This is Eastern Conference power at its finest, with the top 4 teams all being from the East Coast. Way to go, guys. Guys, we have only a few games left in our season before the playoffs start, and it's getting tight, and that's the way I like it.
How you doing?
Shrug shoulders, shrug shoulders, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hey now.
Adam, we have one final segment to get into, and we're going to have you start it first. You know the drill. You've done this before. Sir, what pissed you off this week?
Okay, what pissed me off this week? Oh, Jesus, man. It's 2020, man. I can't even begin to break that down for you.
You have your pick of everything in the world. So.
Wow. Okay, so what pissed me off this week is I'm going to make it personal and I'm going to make it on brand. The Philadelphia 76ers. And what pissed me off this week about the Philadelphia 76ers is, and it wasn't even really this week. I think it was last week, but because I haven't been on the pod, I'm going to grandfather it in from last week. I watched one Jimmy Butler, and his name is not James Butler. He's very adamant of telling you that his parents biologically named him Jimmy. Jimmy Butler in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics. And as a 76ers fan, let me tell you, the Boston Celtics are our biggest rivals historically, and that we hate them with all our heart. But this whole Jimmy Butler thing gives us weird emotions that we're not really able to describe since he was with us, and then he left us, and then he exposed how really shitty the guts of the 76ers front office is. But that's not the thing that I'm upset about. It is the fact that the most expensive man on that team, his name is Tobias Harris. They're paying him $31 million a year. And do you know what he was doing during the Eastern Conference Finals? He was wine tasting, blindfolded. He had a napkin wrapped over his face like a bandana, and he was sampling different glasses of wine and posting it on Instagram while Jimmy Butler was going to the NBA Finals with a bunch of people no one has ever heard of, and Bam Adebayo.
The block heard around the world. Adam, I'm going to talk more basketball with you. We're going to go in, but we are going to head over. Alex, I'm knocking on the laptop. I haven't heard y'all podcast. You okay? You okay in there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
It's like every parent answering FaceTime ever. Like, what is it?
Hello?
Is it?
Hello?
Is it on?
Hello?
No, mom, put it away. Mom, away from your face. Okay, it doesn't need to be that close.
Hello.
Alex, what's pissing you off? What's pissing you off this week?
Not so much pissing me off, but just disappointed. Going back to the Red Bull F1 racing team, we just raced in Russia last weekend on Sunday, or yesterday. Wow, that was only yesterday. But basically, second driver for the Red Bulls, Albon, Alex, who have had high hopes for, just not performing well once again. He started like pole position like 12th, dropped down to 15th, ended 10th, and it's just not what we need currently for our.
They should have subbed him out in the 60th and adjusted the lineup, put someone else in the midfield. You know,
dude. I mean, like 9 races ago, they replaced this guy Gasly with Albon, and now Gasly's racing better than Albon. It's like fuck.
That is how F1 racing works, right?
Our boy. Yeah, you can like It's hard, but yeah, you can like cut contracts and sub out drivers because just
Next
like Red Bull
podcast,
Soccer,
Alex
there's
teaches us
a.
about F1.
Oh, I can talk
That's
about
what
F1
New York
for a while.
Red Bull spent like assholes. Just watch Red Bull F1.
Yeah,
Kyle,
that's stupid money.
Kyle,
Oh, you had one bad race? No.
Kyle.
Goodbye.
So Kyle, besides the fact that you probably had to wear a shirt to work today, what's pissing you off this week?
To go kind of serious with this one. Metal Sucks put
is
out
it
an
the pimp?
article today.
It's not about the smoker?
No, it's not
Okay.
related to that. I figured that whole shit out.
We'll talk about that later.
So, Metal Sucks put out an article today exposing a U.S. promoter, John Finberg. If you ever gone to a show, Enter the Vault, they do Nightwish, Symphony X. They used to do Overkill, Amorphous. Yeah, the bald douchebag with the red hair that kind of looks like he'd rape you. Yeah, that guy. There's been years of just people that I know personally coming out and saying over and over again sexual assault allegations, attempted rape allegations, time he's, blatantly gotten people drunk. One person had vodka poured down their throat, and she, within 30 minutes, had alcohol poisoning because he was just trying to get her drunk and get her to have sex with him.
Is this a venue promoter or like a...
He is a band promoter, so like he does these, whoever bands he represents, he'll take care of their US tours.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's a dick because he gets bands the most money, which is why he still hangs on to a few, because I don't know if bands realize that he's doing this, but basically he'll take your VIP sales and he'll add them to your general admission sales. So he's getting a cut of every kind of ticket you sell, whether you know it or not. But like, he's a shitty human being. And here we are, years later, still talking about this, people still giving him money. I'm sorry. Look, say, Nightwish. I like Nightwish and Symphony X as much as anybody. I don't need to give that fucker my money, though.
Absolutely. And it's kind of sad because like the main way that I want to support bands now is by going to the show, because God knows they barely get any streaming money, barely get any album sales. So like how I want to support bands is going to the shows and knowing that like there's a shitty promoter getting money off that is annoying. But that's not
I'm just hoping this article blows some shit up and maybe he won't be a thing much longer.
And that's in my closet outside of soccer jerseys is nothing but like the same 6 or 7 band t-shirts. And I always get asked by my wife, like, why do you only have these 5 bands? I go, because these bands are the ones I support more than anything else. And this is one of the few things they actually make money on. So Dre, Dre, with your amazing Cleveland horns up, Affiance
shout out
t-shirt.
to Cleveland, Affiance. What's up, Denny, Patrick, all you guys out there. Anyway, so yes, what's pissing me off this week is not music related. It is fucking shipping related. So next week, you guys will not hear me on the pod because I will be out in the fucking mountains of Utah with 0 cell connection or any kind of connection to the real world because I deserve that. And I ordered a bunch of stuff for like, backpacking, camping gear and whatnot. Some of it a month ago, some of it a week ago. And the amount of time it takes for some shit to reach my front door is kind of annoying. And this one thing in particular, I ordered a pair of like camouflage, like hiking pants or whatever, right? I ordered them last Wednesday. It turns out the place they're coming from is Utah. So they were supposed to make it to New Jersey in time for me to put them in my backpack and go back to Utah. It looks like they're not making it. I ordered a whole brand new backpack to like add on extra, because the pack I have now is like a nice day pack, but like a multi-day pack, I wanted a bigger one. Turns out that's on back order, not making it in time. So I gotta just shove a bunch of shit into this one. And yeah, just the combination of shipping on back order, shipping late. I'm just like, homie, I'm trying to do this right, and you're making it very difficult. So it's just generally I'm pissed when shit comes late.
Dre, what are you hunting for?
Elk. Well, I'm not hunting. It's just 4 of us going. The other 3 are actually hunting. I didn't get a tag this year. Who knows about
God damn it.
What's going on? Hey, if I get
a tag, your pants are still in Utah.
Yeah, dude. He's going to get like one of the most exotic meats possible. Hey, I didn't get a tag. I'm just going to go with them and fucking hunt.
If they get an elk, I'm getting some meat and I'll make it for the next tailgate. You believe me. I'll make some.
No. That's not tailgate. That's not tailgate meat. Yes. That is a Red Bull game between us 4.
Yes, that too. Fine.
What's pissing me off this week two things. One, I bought a new smartwatch. Doesn't connect to my phone. Really upset because I need a watch. Number two, Peacock. Fuck
Get
Peacock.
Apple products.
Fuck NBC. You
We still
damn
going
money.
on about that delay time?
No, it's not even that. Like, if you're gonna put all the games on a streaming, like, this is where I'll never bitch at ESPN Plus. Every MLS
Oh, I got
game.
a fucking gripe with MLS with ESPN Plus, but that's next week or next time.
2
ESPN
weeks.
Plus, every single MLS game outside of the ones in your area are on there. It doesn't matter. They're all on there. It's not some are on this week. Oh, no, some will be on the TV. Some will be this. Some will be that. If you want to watch every single Premier League game, you need to now be on 3 separate streaming services. You have to pay for NBC through your cable provider. You have to buy NBC Gold, and you now have to buy Peacock. To watch the Premier League, it's going to cost you $30, $40 a month. Peacock is a fucking joke.
I'm literally looking at Peacock. Like, I'm looking at the Peacock headquarters. I'm literally right next to Comcast too, where they launched Peacock.
Can you do us a favor, Adam? I think Matt would appreciate it if you took a tomato, opened your window, and just threw it at them.
Well, because I'm a lovely Comcast payer, because they obviously let no one else in Philadelphia have any form of the cable market share, I get it for free.
Huh.
No.
Well, fuck you.
No, I'm telling you.
That's fair. That's fair.
So now
I get it for free too. I'm not complaining.
I have 3 reasons to go to Philadelphia now. 1, visit Adam Booth, who's my new best friend. 2, get delicious cheesesteaks. And 3, I'm personally gonna walk over to Peacock and I'm gonna be the motherfucker who knocks.
I'm gonna be real with you. Roast pork sandwiches are better than cheesesteaks. So if you want here's the thing, a big cheesesteak guy, obviously. But if you're looking for the culinary delight of Philadelphia, it is the roast pork sandwich.
Okay, cool. So
wasn't that also on Man vs. Food? Wasn't that like
yeah?
Okay, I haven't checked that out yet. I gotta get that one.
For the Knicks, where he goes to, is a staple. The guy who he does the interview with is still there running the place. It is obviously worth it, and that whole area is open now. It's like Reading Terminal and all that in Philly is completely open again. So everyone, I mean, obviously social distancing mask, but they've opened that up. So if you want to come get your culinary delights, we're here for you on that front. But yeah, the roast pork is the one that slaps.
Between the Philly beer and the Philly food and Adam Booth, I have many reasons to go see Philly. But you're going to have to hear that next time. And before we wrap up, Adam, once again, thank you for being our first returning guest. And I'm telling you right now, we've already had the conversation. For the 1,000, 2,000, 8,000 episodes we're eventually going to have, you will be on many more times.
Plans. Alex yells at us when we go overtime, and then Adam comes on. It's just fucking turn the watch off. It's not.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no! This is the first. This is the first episode I did not hit the stopwatch because there's no fucking point. I'm like, oh, Adam's coming on. All right, so I'm gonna be on until 11 o'clock at least 11 o'clock. We're not gonna time this. Our analytics are gonna go to shit. It's all right, Adam. We love you.
They like me. They really like me.
We like you so much that you're gonna fuck up our podcast analytics, and we're not even gonna care. It's okay.
Look, we never even got into fusion talk, but it's okay.
So we're gonna put that down
in the morning.
That's when I start my fusion podcast. I'll bring you guys all back on. Then we get down to the real brass tacks.
Oh,
hit
fuck
scan.
Yeah.
Hit scan.
I was gonna say then we're gonna 1v1 Tracer.
Oh, don't you start me. Even though I'm more of a diva myself, you know.
Since we kept you long enough, we're gonna give. Since we kept you long enough, we're gonna give you a chance to plug your socials if you want to throw those in.
Oh yeah, SOB the pod. Literally on all socials. It's Twitter, Instagram. What's the other one I'm forgetting? It's not. I mean, Facebook. Well, yeah, Facebook. But there's like a third one. Anyway,
Spotify.
Yeah, so we're on pretty much anything you can get a podcast on. We pretty much just saturated it. Spotify is our main one. You can subscribe, subscribe, all that fun shit. We are going to do we're doing the pod tomorrow. We're going to just the 3 of us tomorrow. We're going to do a nice wrap up of what we were basically talking about in this pod with me today, which is me more excited and probably 2 more rants in there, because I got other thoughts on other things, probably the Sixers. But yeah, and that's Adam Booth on Twitter. I'm Booth Review on Instagram, and I'd like a booth on Snapchat. So there you go.
That's a good one.
Telling you right
There
now,
it is.
those are the names to follow. But guys, quick reminder, thank you once again for listening to Post and Pints. You can find Post and Pints on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon now. Behind the scenes from our current episode are on there now, and I'm upset that you're not watching it, because I'm telling you right now, it's worth the price to pay. As well, we are also now on Discord. You want to talk about anything MLS with us at any point in time? Kyle will not wear a shirt. I promise you that, as he's answering your MLS tweets. Guys, once
Answering
again,
your tweets from my house. I'm not wearing a shirt.
from
Sure.
Alex, Kyle, Dre, and the famous Adam Booth. My name is Matt. Once again, thank you guys for listening to Post and Pints this week. That's episode 36 is in the books. It's done. It's over. It's gone. Everyone, wave to the pretty people.
Bye.
Where all those Armis wasn't the problem people at.
What's up, everybody? It's Dre, and thanks for listening to another episode of Post and Pints. We appreciate the support. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All of our social media is at Post and Pints. We are also launching soon a Patreon, so definitely check that out to support us. Make sure you tell your family or friends to support us. Remember, the banter is free, and the wet-ass P word is not included. Cheers.